On today's episode, I'm going to share with you two simple things that will dramatically change your finances, especially when it comes to like spending and how to have money left.
Welcome to the Money Fit MD show. I'm Dr. Latifat, the founder of Money Fit MD. We want to change the narrative where women physicians use. My job is to let you know that's going to be. I have to surround myself with people that are doing crazy things.
I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm the founder of Money Fit MD, and it is such an honor to be in your ears today. This conversation that I'm about to have with you is one that has literally changed the lives of many physicians. And there's a specific example that comes to mind, which is a woman physician who had an household household income of about $600,000. And I remember how much embarrassment she felt and how much courage it took for her to tell me that we in their household were earning all of this money, but she's like, I don't know where it all goes. It always feels like there's something important to take care of. And at the end of the day, I find out that the money is actually not accumulating, and our net worth does not reflect what it should be based on the income that we have. And so I'm going to share with you guys two things that has dramatically changed this person's finances. And it's going to be even more critical if you are someone that you're like, Latifat, I don't like traditional budget. I hate traditional budget. Or maybe you've tried it, it's not working for you. Or you're just like, it's not working for you, or you haven't even tried it. Maybe you tried it years ago and you're like, Latifat, the idea of like spreadsheets makes me want to scream. That's how I was when I first started. So that may be something that applies to you right now. And what I'm telling you is these concepts are simple, but can literally change the game for you when it comes to your finances. Okay? So what I'm talking about today will apply to you even more so if you consider yourself a first generation wealth builder. And what is a first generation wealth builder? Maybe you're the first in your family to be a physician. Maybe you're the first in your family to acquire the kind of like skills, clinical skills or otherwise, that is commanding the level of income that you're earning. Maybe you're the first to earn $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, whatever it is you're earning right now. Maybe you're the first in your family to be able to create that amount of income. And so as a physician, you are already the person that they probably call when there's like medical stuff, right? And now you're the person that they call when there's financial stuff. Like, oh, mommy's rent, daddy's mortgage, their car has issues. You're the person that people call. You're people's financial strategy, literally. And I know that that's something that happens not infrequently. Maybe you're the person that's paying for a sibling's partial rent. Like, all of this stuff, like you are a potential wealth builder. You're maybe a first generation wealth builder. And I'm saying potential because maybe you haven't accumulated yet, but your income puts you at a level that has the potential to create something substantial, right? And what I've found from having conversations with so many physicians is that your income as a potential first generation wealth builder of like say $400,000 means completely different than someone who may not be a first generation wealth builder. And so I'll give you an example of I can tell you, like, I've had dozens of these conversations where someone, maybe you're an immigrant or you're not an immigrant, but again, you have those financial responsibilities. Your family supported you emotionally, if not financially, for so many years, and now you're finally an attending. You want to pay back. You want to give them back. It's a joy. It's a privilege. And you feel that privilege of being able to give to people that have served you and given you for so many years in one way or the other. Like, you could not wait for the moment where you could write a check to say thank you. Right? And now you're at a place where you're earning good income, you're working hard, you're primary care doctor, GI doctor, surgeon, and the moment your income comes in, you're like sending the money for the mortgage or the rent for your family members, and maybe you actually even own the home that they're staying in, but you're paying two mortgages. You're paying your primary home, and you're also paying their own mortgage. You're paying for their health insurance. Maybe you bought the car, you're paying the monthly payment for their car. You're giving them maybe sometimes in exchange for that, they also help with watching your kids. But by the time you like take off the parental expense or tax, whatever you want to call it, and then now you're like, okay, I got kids. Your kids, you're like, okay, I know that I wish my family had given to me when it came to like paying my med school tuition and maybe college tuition, and you want to do that for your kids. So now you've paid for your parents' stuff, and now the next level, you're doing things like your 529. You maybe have like whole life insurance, which is oversold to so many physicians. And now, by the time you do that, now you go into the next level, and the next level is like, well, now I want to take care of my own stuff. Like, you want to live in a home that feels comfortable for your family. You want to have some vacations. You want to create some memories. Maybe you're even paying for private school for your kids. And now, by the time you've gone through those 3 levels of family, your children or kid, and now your own life expenses, you literally are not left with much else, right? And so you're doing this every single month. You feel okay, but you're hoping and you're wishing that you had more to be able to invest in your own financial security, in your own asset growth, in your own net worth, so that you can get closer to that financial independence, things that everybody talks about, right? And you've been doing this now for years and years, and what you're noticing is like nothing is changing. Nothing is changing. In fact, as now you're getting more and more senior, quote unquote, in your attending journey, you're realizing like there are other stuff you want. You want to buy a purse. You want to be able to buy nice things. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm spending a lot of money on myself, but then the money is just going, right? And here you are at this job that you're working, whether you own your own practice, whether you're employed, but you're like, I wish I could cut down at work. But then you're looking at how it feels when it comes to your investment, and like, if I cut back at work, who's going to take care of my family? Who's going to take care of my kids? How am I going to be able to take care of my own expenses? And I'm definitely not going to be able to do any investments, right? If that's you, I want you to know that you're not alone. There's so many physicians just like you. I hear stories about this like almost like multiple times every week. And the antidote to that is not, giving a middle finger to everybody you care about. No, it's not that. It's not feeling guilty about not helping. It is, I'm going to give you one tip right now. And part of that is going to be about flipping the chart. What you just talked about right now, where everybody else is at the top, you need to like flip that over and pay yourself first. And what do I mean by pay yourself first? I mean like pay your future self first. That's one of the principles when it comes to wealth building. What that means is this: you have to think about your future self, your 80-year-old self, your 65-year-old self, your 55-year-old self, and make sure that you put in money aside for that version of you to be able to take care of themselves. And what that is going to look like is not saving money, it's going to be investing money. Meaning that you want to make sure that whatever vehicle you've decided, whether it's like 401k, Roth IRA, real estate, buying businesses, investing in yourself, and all those other things, that needs to happen first. And I know that this is like the exact opposite of what your family may have taught you, but I want you to understand that your family that loves you so much, they may not have commanded the amount of money that you are commanding, number one. They are not in medicine with the data and the realistic whatever about burnout, unwellness, administrative burnout, insurance pressure, and the requirement and the need for your ability to have options as literally you saving your own life. They may not understand that. And many of you guys are looking for permission in the wrong place. You're looking for permission from people that don't understand what it feels like to be in your shoes. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine recently, and by the way, I'm recovering from a cold or screaming down Guardians of the Galaxy, or a combination of both. I was speaking with a girlfriend of mine recently who, works in healthcare, bought a business recently, and is in that transition of stabilizing the business. And she was talking about how many times when she's having conversations with people and they find out that she just bought a business, one of the first things they ask her is like, so how are you going to handle both? And so for someone that this is the first business that she's acquiring, of course she has those concerns as well. But when you're talking to people that are not where you're trying to go, of course they're going to be increasing the volume of the limiting beliefs that you have. They're going to be asking you, how are you going to have time for your family? How are you going to have time for your kids? They're going to be asking you questions that is going to increase the volume of the beliefs and thoughts that you are trying to drown. So you have to be very, very careful about who you have in conversations with. You have to be very, very careful about whose permission you may knowingly or unknowingly be trying to get. So for her, of course, I didn't ask her that question because I understand. I've coached many women physicians. I'm living the life of being like multidimensional myself. And so that I'm not asking her questions that's going to increase her doubts. I'm not asking her questions that's going to increase her self-judgment. I'm asking her questions of like, okay, that makes sense. Like, what is the plan of like how you're going to thrive? Like, are you ready to be resourceful? How are you sourcing people? Like, those are the questions that's going to align her to the future that she wants. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is for you, when you're starting to prioritize your future self, if you're having these conversations with people that are not creating optionality, people that don't understand the lived experience of women physicians specifically, like, you are literally going to be regressing yourself instead of moving forward in your growth. And so you have to be very, very careful about getting permission or trying to get permission from the people that don't have your lived experience, which is one of the top mistakes that I see women physicians making. And when I think about the women physicians that we're serving in 6 to 7, which is our 16-week Money Foundations course, or inside of Wealth Village, the level of like sigh of relief and safety that these women feel from having conversations with people where they don't have to explain themselves to, it is like it decreases your blood pressure by like dozens of systolic digits. That's such a nerdy statement to make. But you'll get what I'm saying. So again, the number one thing is you want to pay your future self first by flipping that chart that we just talked about and making sure that you're taking care of your future self. Because listen, imagine how tired you are right now when you work. Now imagine how it's going to feel when you're 60. How it's going to feel when you're 65. And so if you've not done a good job of investing into your future self, look at what could potentially be happening at the age of 60, at the age of 55, at the age of 65. And God knows if health issues is going to come up, right? So your number one job is to make sure that your future self is taken care of. That means you're investing money to make sure she takes care of herself. And many times people ask me the questions like, oh, Latifat, how much should I be investing? Number one is there's no one size fits all. But if 20% of your income is going towards taking care of your optionality, that's already a step in the right direction. Like when I look at my own finances, the percentage varies significantly and has over the last couple of years of 10 years of like building my own finances. Sometimes 40%, sometimes it's 50%. And because we choose to live a simple life when it comes to like expenses, we don't compare with broke people. We compare with ourselves. We live a life that's aligned so we can make decisions based on the goals that we want to accomplish. By the way, some of the stuff that I'm talking about, we're going to be addressing even more specifically inside the Money Leftover workshop. And if you guys don't know what that is, this is a 2-hour workshop that I host for women physicians to help them have money left over every month. And especially if you're first generation wealth builders, like there are things that are specific to us that people don't talk about. Every time people talk about like coffee, latte, like that ain't the struggle. That $5 thing ain't what is like causing us issues. But there's specific taxes that we are paying that is costing our $400,000 per year to not last us like it should be lasting or is lasting people that are not first generation wealth builders. So if that is something that you're struggling with, no shame in your game. Like the principles that I teach, I still apply those to myself, even though I'm not like struggling with finances. So this is not just for people that are like, oh my goodness, I'm struggling. It's for someone that wants to have increasing amount of money left over so that whether you're like want to take a sabbatical, whether you want to have an investment, whether you bought a multi-family or multi-family property and now you're trying to like go back to a UEU state when it comes to your finances, these are the skill sets that is going to help you. So you can go to moneyfitmd.com/money leftover. We'll make sure there's a link in the show note. We have a live one that's coming up April 13th. So I'm super duper excited for those of you guys that are going to join us. This, like when we've done this, people have found like hundreds to thousands of dollars. Someone said she found like, I think it was like 9,000. Someone found like 2,000 and something. Someone found like 3,000 and something. Someone found like 900 and something thousand, not thousand, 900 and something dollars, excuse me. So this is like a skill set that I think every woman physician needs to learn. It literally is the first line in wealth building, is the first line in optionality, is the first line in creating surplus, is the first line in learning how to create money from your income right now on demand so that your net worth can grow, so you can build that emergency fund faster, so that you can grow that net worth faster. Okay, you can pay off your debt faster. So make sure you go to the show note, go click on the link. It's $47 to learn and be able to like actually have, you know, hundreds and thousands potentially. If you apply what we teach, it's a no-brainer. So make sure you do that. So the number one thing is pay your future self first. That's number one. Okay, and then the number two thing is this. It's similar but different. So here's the deal. Social media is a great thing, but also is like, can be a horrible thing when it comes to wealth building. Because in medicine, in healthcare, we don't talk a lot about money. So many times you don't know what your colleagues are earning. You don't know what their net worth is. You don't know the conversations they're having at home with their spouses about money. But one thing that we see externally is how they're spending. You see the cars they're wearing. You see the vacation they're taking. You see that they're doing like YOLO trips all the time. They do Disney VIP. They do Club 33. They're flying first class, business class. So without actually stating it, they're talking about the school their kids are going to, and it's private school. And so you, without knowing the private conversation that's happening, you don't know whether they have generational wealth that's been passed on to them. You don't know if their kids' private school is being paid for by 529 from their grandmother, their grandfather, their great-grandfather's businesses that's cash flowing for them. You have no idea. But you see the external displays of money. And so you are, without even being told, you are thinking to yourself that this is the level that you as an attendant should be living up to. And so you're spending money on things that are not assets primarily. You're spending on cards. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. As physicians, we can make many mistakes and still be okay, but you cannot make every mistake and be okay. Right? So you want to make sure that you're aligning your money and you're spending in a way that actually aligns towards growing in assets. And many people are looking for like the fancy stuff. They're looking for the secrets that nobody else knows about. And I'm like, yo, you haven't even spent money buying the assets that people know about. You're not maxing out the 401ks. You're not doing the Roth IRA. You're not doing the, what else? Like you're not doing your HSA. You're not doing the taxable investment income. You're not buying the real estate. You're not doing the low-hanging fruit that has been shown for generations to produce wealth and optionality, but you're waiting for someone to tell you about the secret sauce. There ain't no secret. Like, do the non-secret stuff first, and then we can have a conversation. So the point I'm trying to make is this. If you're looking at where your money is going, and it's going primarily to things that is decreasing in value over time, just making that shift in that will cause your net worth and optionality to go up radically. You know, it's interesting to me that when people make this simple but powerful shift, it does something to their finances, but also does something to their psyche, where they start to see the wins accumulate. They start to have money left over. They start to trust themselves. They start to build confidence. They start to not feel like victims in medicine. They start to create optionality. They start to like have a little bit more like confidence in being able to spend time talking to patients. They start to feel their toes. It's almost like their nerves start to regenerate, right? And what that is doing is helping them become better doctors. So again, if all you do is take these two things, to start to pay your future self first, to start to put money towards assets that increase in value and not the objects of comparison that we think is a display of money and wealth. I want you to imagine what that could look like in 3 months. I want you to imagine what that could look like in 6 months. And that's the thing, guys. When it comes to money, everyone thinks that it's math. The math part of money is like less than 20%. The things that we're talking about, the habits, the behavior, the mindset, right? These are the actual avoiding procrastination, the making moves that compound, the allowing yourself to be accountable to kind-hearted humans that you surround yourself with, that you have self-selected. That's important. This is the over 80% of what is actually required to make a shift. And I see this over and over again. So sometimes when I'm talking to women physicians, I'm just like listening. I'm reading all the posts, I'm reading all the blogs, and I'm like, y'all think that the way to do this is the masculine way. It is not working for us. The way we do this is a kind-hearted, shame-free way, which is exactly what we're talking about here, which is exactly what you would learn if you come in to join us inside the Money Leftover Workshop. If you join us inside of our 16-week program, the 6 to 7, which is for women physicians that feel anxious about their money, they feel overwhelmed about the money, this is what it's about. And when you learn all this, it shifts it radically changes how you show up. There's a physician that's inside of our 6 to 7 community who works clinically locums, and she said this upcoming month, she said, I have no locum shifts, but she is having way less stress than she was having just 4 months ago. Because when you create optionality, when you build emergency resources, when you build your emergency funds, when you learn how to master having money left over, it changes the game, y'all. It changes again. So that's what I have for you. I hope this has been helpful. By the way, if this episode was helpful, I would love for you to do me 2 quick favors. Number 1 is I want you to please leave us a review. We have people that we want to reach. We have women physicians all over the country that haven't even heard about us yet. And one of the ways you can help us reach them is by leaving us a review on whatever platform you're listening, whether it's like Spotify, podcast, YouTube. Leave us a review or leave a comment. It helps the algorithm show us to other people, which is our way of serving more physicians. That's number 1. And the number 2 is I want you to think about 1 or 2 people in your world right now that could benefit from the simple yet potent information you just heard on this audio today. Take the link, text it to them, and trust me, they will thank you forever. So thank you again, and I look forward to serving you. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and God bless you.